Good evening, everyone. Well, the second part of Week 7, I should say. We're back after what was an exciting Wednesday, or, well, Fetch is back. I keep adding caveats. Headaches, so we're going to have a chill day today, or at least as best as we can, because we have 3 banger matches, with our first match being RMIT Red versus Monash. Fetch, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a little bit exhausted. There's been so much fantastic Rocket League this week, and these games should deliver some really, really interesting games, a couple of close matches amongst the standings. This first one, not so much dynamic, but as we go through the games, there should be like some really fantastic series.
Yeah, they're definitely winning with that match you see just to the side. RMIT Red taking on the Monash Ball Chasers. After that, it'll be USYD Open Net Esports taking on the UTS Eshays in what should be a great match. And then right back into it, back first place between UOM, Louis&Champs taking on Southern Cross Blue. I still probably consider our second match to be probably the main event match, but I'm excited for all 3 of these. If for no other reason, I mean, we get to see probably 5 out of 6 of our playoff teams playing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And we get to see, kind of a bit of a, I think it's going to be the last match for RMIT anyway. I think it's going to be the last match for both these teams. So it'll still be interesting to see kind of what they have when they go out. I think we've seen some of those final games of the series for some of these teams have been some of the more interesting ones, showing their style, showing their improvement, really giving us a big, this is what we've managed to achieve over this.
RMIT Red 4-4. If a win is, well, they're still mathematically eliminated, unfortunately. So, as always, we have to thank our lovely sponsors who help put this entire event together.
Yeah, of course. They are, fantastic. They stayed consistent throughout the season. First of all, AOC, a global leader in monitor display technology. Fantastic refresh rates, incredibly clear display. Have a look at their website for their entire range, something to suit everybody. Second of all is Chatime, our presenting partner. Fresh iced tea, try the new range today at your local store. So many iced tea breweries around the country even, but nonetheless, their range is just incredible. And make sure, to let us know what your favorite combination, your favorite flavors and things like that are. They're always expanding their range. Indomie, Feed your game with Indomie, another one, which if you let us know how you have your Indomie, we're always looking for new inspiration. They've expanded their range to 14 different products, and of course, there's always a way to add your own flair. There's nothing quite, you know, if you get to some of our live events, you might...
The location for our opening matchup right now will give the okay to go to the players as we get to...
like that. It's also a matter of, like...
that of Kruzza, Kevin 07, and Freeze taking them on RMIT on ball cam. On the RMIT side, everyone was just on car cam as I was cycling through. That's normally a concerning moment.
It's worrying when no one's looking at the ball fundamentally. So hopefully that's just a thing they were doing. That just happened. You know, a moment of like it is still. They still have looked like they're in control though. You know, it's not like it's two teams who look like they're exactly even. It definitely, to me at least, has seemed like Monash have had the greater control, but I do agree. It was a bit interesting to see that there wasn't just an immediate out-of-the-gate rush. Freeze just gets demoed by Roddick instead of taking the play on the ball, which isn't what we normally see, but hey, I mean, it kind of worked out, I think. Wait, no, it was Roddick getting the demo, so it didn't quite work out. Now they're back on defense, and they don't have a means of clearing this one. Never mind, they're going to do it exactly as I said they weren't. They're too smart for me. They're too good. They're too quick.
So something I'm noticing already is sort of the usual order that we're seeing Monash attack with, and it seems to be going Kruzza, Kevin, Freeze, often with their plays forward. Crazy Muffin, though, makes Kruzza miss. Last touch isn't quite accurate. Ball still in a dangerous spot. However, the defensive pass in front of the net actually does pay dividends, and Crazy Muffin, a little bit too much power on that defensive clear, gets punished by Kevin 07, getting their second goal of the series.
Yeah, there it is. And, I mean... it was kind of an awkward pass back, right? It was kind of just not quite getting this the right touch on it. But at the end of the day, Kevin 07 being in the right spot to kind of see how that was playing out, you know, read into the matrix a little bit. That's actually weird that that's a topical reference, but the pace starting to turn up a little bit for Monash here.
I actually have not had the time to see that trailer yet. Kruzza is going to play it off the backboard. I was too busy watching the RLCS announcement trailer. I've seen that about 5 times. I haven't seen the Matrix trailer once. I don't know. Does it look good?
I haven't seen it either. I just knew it was coming out.
Fair enough. Hat trick, by the way.
It's a third, though. Hat trick, yeah. Really nice stuff. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, this was sort of relevant to my childhood, and it's coming out at some point. I should probably watch that.
Speaking of being relevant to childhoods right now, I'm a little worried if Kevin keeps scoring. Like, Smash Mouth is just going to play that entire song as we move along. It's been like non-stop all-stars so far in this game. As a rapid flurry of goals. We were wondering when they were going to come. Well, they came after the first minute. Following that, 3 quick goals for the side of Monash, who are now starting to pull away. Kruzza across the middle, looking for that fourth. Won't be able to get it just yet.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I thought that was just like Spotify playing in the background. But yeah, like I mean, geez, the pickup on momentum a little bit. Every time it sort of seems to come through from RMIT, it feels like Monash just have an answer, a quick counterattack, something like that. They find a good passing play, they find a good opportunistic kind of 50 or something, and they just run with it. Right at the moment, it's Roddick who's going to try and carry the ball down. Crazy Muffin and Superius both in that corner to take the passes. But so many players sticking up in this mid-pitch area, but they've all pulled forward, and Crazy Muffin's just going to get the ball close towards the goal. I mean, Shapirus wasn't quite able to shepherd that one in as the angle wasn't quite there, but a big overextension almost coming through from Monash.
Those are the types of openings so that RMIT are going to need if they're going to find a way back into this matchup. Those rare moments where you do see an overextension that you should be able to punish. You got to make sure you connect on those. And I know it's a hard shot from the middle of the field, but you really have to be making those if you're going to topple an undefeated team, especially when you're 3 goals down. Now only a minute and a half remaining. Once again, it is Monash on the attack. It's Freeze. Actually puts it in another awkward spot, but Shapirus Legend can't make the read.
Yeah, kind of the control from Freeze was just a little bit too good there. And at the moment, it sort of feels like they're just, getting the better of the ball in this last minute or even 30 seconds. Kevin 07 goes for that double tries.
Oh, no.
But it works fine to set up for Kruzza. I didn't quite see what happened to the defense there, but I mean, to be fair, it was not the easiest ball to play.
Well, Crazy Muffin was sitting in goal, and Shapirus double committed underneath. So the end result is 2 attacking players just sitting outside the box as the ball slowly rolls towards them in front of an open net. Nightmare situation, realistically, for RMIT's defense at the end of that. I'm not going to sugarcoat that one. It was not pretty. Nor is the scoreline, if you're a fan of RMIT. A quick 4-0 for Monash has them up with only 1 minute remaining. A chance to add to this lead. They got the bump, but they won't be able to get the shot. A very dominant performance thus far.
Yeah, at the end of it, it is. I mean, the scoreline looks really good, and when the players kind of turn on from Monash, they turn on really, really fancily. A couple of holes which you don't really want to see, like 1 or 2 tiny little holes you don't want to necessarily see. Cruzza gets 2 demos, just playing aggressively as anything. But, you know, again, doesn't kind of get too much of that one. And then as you get those openings, Crazy Muffin gets it. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff I was talking about.
Oh no, Cruzza's not happy. Who was supposed to be back there apparently dropped. Cruzza, I don't mean to cause much alarm. Think that was meant to be you. Either way, definitely not the goal they were hoping to give up. Look, the Ball Chasers are living up to their name a little bit. When they go on the attack, all 3 members go for it. I think they're all looking for those opportunities. We've seen twice now Freeze has actually slowed the play down middle of the field as third man, trying to go for a solo play. This is a sign, again, of a team that's confident, and we've seen this a few times within AEL. When a team gets a lead, when they feel like they should be the better team, they start to get a little, I guess, start having too much fun with what they try to pull off, and then those teams with a bit of heads on their shoulders, they learn how to punish them. Roderick, very similar to that first goal that RMIT scored. Now it's 2 on the board.
I was gonna say it almost just was a matter of getting more height on that uncontested ball, and then just playing it from the midfield with no one being back. And I mean, I guess that's a win condition potentially for the side of RMIT. But I don't think that's something which Monash are going to give you too many more openings for, especially in this game, because it's definitely going to be Monash confirming this first match in our opening best of 5 specifically. But I guess, hey, I guess if RMIT can engineer enough of those circumstances, maybe there's something in that for later games. Shapiris almost with the own goal, but didn't quite happen. You know, we almost got that. I think the own goal which happened in Wednesday's streams, because as you know, we've got to have one each week.
Yep.
It was like the last 20 seconds of the final game. It was ridiculous. I'd completely forgotten about it. I hadn't even kept track of the own goals, and it happened in the dying seconds, and it lost one of the teams the series. It was absolutely tragic. But we're still yet to see one so far out of this series.
Yeah, we still have yet to go. I mean, this is only the first series. That was only the first game of the first series.
Exactly.
I'm sure we'll get an own goal. It's been 14 Rocket League casts for me in a row where an own goal has come through. So I'd be disappointed if tonight was the night that it all ends. As it stands, look, Shapiris Legend was fishing for compliments. I'm going to look at their car and, well, okay, it's a boring Octane. We'll have to look for their gameplay instead as we go back into our second game. Eyes on Shapiris Legend. They want the eyes on them to see what they can do. Let's see if Shapiris can pull off a save here. Touch. Yep, got over a defender. That's nice. Got past the second one as well. Shapiris looking to stay with the play. Could this be the moment? Pass to the middle. It goes through. Nice play coming from RMIT to strike first in our second game.
Yeah, well done. And that wasn't just a mishap on the defense. Like, it wasn't just 3 players pulling up and the attacking line. That was them kind of creating something on the side of the field. So that's much better. Like, that's much. You feel a lot more comfortable coming into the series if you can kind of pull off a few plays like that. 1-0 lead isn't everything, but it's definitely a great start considering most of your scores last time were a bit opportunistic. But that was almost a very unfortunate whiff on defense.
Oh, Shapiris Legend with the chance is going to get shut down by Freeze. Now Cruzza from the ceiling, looking for that pinch. Won't be able to get it past the defense as Shapiris comes through with the save. Ball off that side wall, now being pushed forward. Kevin slowing it down with the pass up to Cruzza, who tries to dish it back to Freeze, who I think was expecting it forward. That will allow Kevin to try and play off the wall. Shapiris again acting as that first defender strike off the post. Freeze is there, 1-1 game.
It's just pressure, right? It's just they're playing the pressure game. They're doing a pretty well job of it. Pretty good job of it there. I mean, it was a bit of an unfortunate kind of overemphasis on the defense. If Crazy Muffin had been able to like hold back in that, but you can never tell. Like you always want to make sure the ball doesn't go across the net, and if it's that close off the post, you can't realistically expect like a player, especially like when we're kind of looking at this sort of level, to know that exactly. Kevin 07 goes for a double, and Cruzza almost puts that one through. Freeze, you make it the triple play, but no, it's Cruzza. It's fine. Cruzza's got it. It's all good. It's over the line.
I wanted to see a triple pinch. We got really close to it right there. As you can see, Cruzza got the bump. Look at that. All 3 members of the Ball Chasers just in the box trying to race to that goal. In the end, Cruzza's the one who gets there first. So that's going to be a nice 2-1 lead in favor of Monash for the time being. Hopefully, we get to see a bit more fight from RMIT Red at this stage because, again, even that quick goal that RMIT got early, we saw the attitude of Monash. They were kind of joking, laughing about it. The mindset just is exuding confidence right now from this orange side. Shapiris with the dunk, though, might be setting up a teammate shot. No contact made. And with the demo on the back line, maybe we could see something go back forward for Monash, but they decide to take their time with it.
Yeah, definitely. And Crozza and Kevin both are just like, all right, who's going to get it? Almost playing the piggy in the middle there. Ball goes straight to the top of Crozza. Wasn't quite on angle, though, so Roddick doesn't get that one. And I'm going to say, if we are talking cars in this game, Roddick's is purple and shiny, and that wins in my books.
Isn't that the, I think it's the champ car.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure that's... I could be wrong. I don't know. That's all too high rank for me. I still haven't been able to crack into champ as of yet. Roderick, though, knows how it's done. Sees an open net, puts it straight. That's a champ play right there. Hitting the ball straight, believe it or not. That's going to be a tie ball game.
Oh, it is, though. Sadly, it is. Yeah, being able to, like, I think that's the thing. The first level of Rocket League play is being able to hit the ball when it's, like, standing in front of you. And the second part is being able to hit it straight. And that's what gets you the high elo. That's what gets you the big money, you know? But jokes aside, the ball aim is even right at the moment. RMIT doing a fantastic job of sort of keeping that play close, at least for now. They did whiff a big opportunity on the attack before, but the fact they've been able to lock themselves into this attacking position, control the midfield, at least reasonably well, is going to do them a lot of favors here if Monash are going to keep overextending and pulling a lot of players up in the attack.
Well, now we're starting to see a bit more confidence from the RMIT side. They have been playing further and further forward. They have been going for a few more of these challenges. Granted, Kevin was playing opposite side backboard, kind of doing doughies. A little bit of an homage to Paradise back on the Griffith days from a year ago. Let's see what Kevin can do here. Doesn't find the touch. Instead, it'll be left to Freeze out of the corner, trying to find Cruzza, who misses the ball. But again, Kevin's already there. The spacing is always so tight for this Monash side. It feels like there's always someone challenging that ball. Unless, of course, there's gaps, in which case you see quick strikes. Unfortunately for RMIT, that one doesn't go through.
Not quite at that moment, but it did look a little bit dangerous for them. A quick counterattack coming through from Monash. Freeze almost thought they might have been able to get some sort of setup for that third man, holding back a bit more, but it doesn't quite work out. Shapiro's Legend goes for an attempt as well, cleared up by Freeze. We're seeing these big shots flying back and forth. Less of those kind of passing plays, but they're usually coming in quick and fast. And at the moment, that was a really fantastic attempt. I didn't realize that was going to be a straight-up shot. Freeze is the one to pick it up on the third. And Monash getting very creative with his attacks and making it very hard for RMIT to kind of see where it's coming from and create a structured defense.
Yeah, they are having to fall back for the time being. Roderick has a look, runs into one defender. Freeze still keeps it in a dangerous spot, and Kevin has to push it to the safety of the corner. Roderick finding that demo, but look at Freeze pushing forward, puts up a bit of a meatball. No one's there to collect just yet. Ball continues to kind of be a struggle of possession. Again, every challenge is just contested by Monash. They really give no space when they get on the hunt. And RMIT, they're doing their best to survive right now. They're looking for some gaps. Perhaps Shapiris finds it here. Crozza shuts it down.
We're already down to 1 minute remaining in this game, and I agree with your point about them getting physical and constantly being in the face of RMIT. But it's not like RMIT are consistently losing those. A great little pass pinch. I didn't quite get to see which one from Shapiro's Legend, immediately turning the aggression on. But again, the counterattack is so good for Monash, and they find themselves a relatively open goal there, and Kevin just gets another one.
Yeah, that's going to be a late lead for the Monash side as we watch this one again. I'm very curious. Freeze was 100% trying to steal that one away or save it. One of the two. I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure he was thinking either I can score this goal or no one can score this goal, and in the end kind of failed on both accounts. So it's a 3-2 lead in spite of the best effort of the Monash side.
Yeah, that's a little bit true. And it means that everyone on Monash has scored a goal. I think they were a bit upset at Kevin scoring too many in that first game. Kevin sets the ball up very, very nicely. There's a couple of defenders there. 2 players standing around on this attacking corner.
My.
So not much, but here it goes again. Shapiris has one player to beat out and was a bit slow, and Kevin's just going to flick that one past.
But you're still seeing triple commits coming from the Monash side with a 1-goal lead in under 25 seconds. Like, this team, I don't think I've run into any other teams that lives up to their names quite as hard as the Ball Chasers when a side is on the attack. That is for sure. I don't know, maybe Macca's Run likes to get Macca's during their games. That's their gimmick. I don't know, but the Ball Chasers live up to their name. They chase that ball on the attack. They go at it with ruthless aggression, to quote cheesy wrestling, and now they have themselves what looks to be a 2-series lead.
Yeah, they do. I mean, maybe this one's going to go through. Almost going to happen. Almost attempt from Monash to kind of keep that one in the play as well. The 0 second is going to be quite a bit. And actually, they almost managed to turn it around and pull it the full way across the pitch and score. Yeah, 2 games now. Pardon me, in the favor of Monash. And I don't think even getting McDonald's middle of your game doesn't quite live up to just how hard Monash chase the ball. Just how hard they send their players. straight up the field whenever they get an attacking opportunity.
Yeah, it was a very, very strong game from a team that is a super strong team. I mean, we can take a look at some of their tags right now. You've got Season 1, Season 2 Supersonic Legends. Kevin 07 as well did play some RLCS matches. Got a couple top 16s back with the Southern Stars. And, of course, Kruzza, I mean, straight up RLCS contender, says it right there, a person who's played at that top level as well. Like, this Monash team, it's a top 4 team in the tournament, I think. And I know there are a few of those that are going to be challenging. We haven't had a chance to see them on stream too often, or at least I haven't. I can't speak on your behalf. But it is good to see this lineup in action and see how confident they play. I imagine once they go up against some of the other big guns, they will be playing a bit more reserved. At least I hope so for their sakes, because the talent on this team really is something special.
That's kind of the question when you see games like this, because of course teams play differently against other teams, even if they're at the same level, right? But if you do play like this against a lot of top teams, you're gonna get you're gonna have a really, really rough time trying to stop those quick counter attacks and things from coming through. Freeze has an opportunity to put the ball in a really awkward spot, but Roddick's gonna have the ability to get to that one sooner than pretty much anyone else. Well, literally anyone else in the game, in fact. But I agree. And so I don't really know what to make of them from this game. But I'm pretty sure I have seen Monash ball chasers elsewhere, and they looked about this good in all of their games, as Kevin gets yet another game in yet another goal, I should say. Sorry.
Well, it could be the goal that wins them the game and the match. That undefeated season right now, currently sitting 4 minutes away. A dominant performance thus far as we get ready to go next. Why do Roderick, we haven't roasted you at all yet. Do you want to be roasted? Can't do that. Feel like we're getting called out by the players on stream right now, Fetch.
Well, that's just rude. Another goal from Monash, though. But yeah, that's just rude, I feel like. Roddick, I even complimented Roddick's car, you know?
You did.
And that's I think, outside of saying that Monash are really good, and I mean, I guess we haven't talked a lot about RMIT, to be fair, but they have kind of just been like a very solid team. Like, they're just one of those definitively solid teams. They are creating some good opportunities against Monash.
I think actually it's a GC car, and by calling him a champ, maybe that was burning him before. That would just be my ignorance, though. If that is the case, I'm not going to claim. Again, everything above diamond is scary to me, so there is that. But now since I mean, also calling him Roderick instead of Rodock the entire time also probably is a slight. It is Rodock. I do apologize to that, though. That's also just my inability to read and comprehend English. Also, yeah, Kruzza, that was a nice goal. A little double touch. Fair enough. Well done. Yeah. Well done. Golf clap.
The last still frame of that goal as well was quite neat. You know, the little, sort of slow-mo of just the ball being tapped off the front looks very neat. I think that's like the weird thing about Rocket League, because in a lot of games you get really high mechanical plays, which are really cool and really interesting. Like Skullgirls comes to mind for that one. Kruzza goes to set up another one. Kevin doesn't quite pick that up, and Crazy Muffin might have a bit of a break, but just wasn't quite able to find the speed. Yeah, but games like Skullgirls, it's like the mechanics are really interesting and really fun and really enjoyable, and it's all fast-paced and whatnot. But it looks really messy visually, whereas a game like Rocket League, it looks as elegant as it plays. And I think that's just so cool.
Didn't the creator of Skullgirls fire everyone without paying them?
This creator treated the workers like rubbish, and then the game ended up going to different companies. So the people who are working on it are still working on it, I think, but the creator doesn't have a say in what goes on. I think that's how it works. I don't know the full details.
I like how you just said yes before I even finished my question. Yeah, you just knew.
No. Don't worry. I know exactly.
Oh!
Freeze. There are one for each of the players on Monash right at the moment. Kevin ruining the scoreline, getting 2 goals. But it was quite a nice little goal, playing it off the corner there. Very, just reading the play quite well.
Yeah, I mean, just perfectly placed. Nice velocity. Unfortunately, even with 2 defenders back on that backboard, neither of them could make that read in time. 4-0 lead halfway through this third game. And I have to admit, if this is the last time we see this lineup of RMIT Red, they did have a good run of a season. As you said, they felt like a middle-of-the-road team. Well, I think they're finished with a pretty much middle-of-the-road record, a 4-5 record at this stage. Respectable. It's respectable.
Yeah, it is very respectable, and it feels a bit unfortunate that it's not... 5-4 feels a lot better than 4-5.
It does.
I mean, yeah, you're coming up against a team like Monash. They are so fantastic. You just listed off all of their accolades, so I don't think you'd feel too bad. I would not feel bad at all if I was a player on the side of RMIT.
Oh!
And they showed us good things. Shapiro's Legends even showed us a goal. Well done there. Carries it through. And the fact they were scoring on Monash as well feels pretty good for them. Even if Monash has some exploitable weaknesses, I think the fact they are exploiting them is huge credit to them.
Yeah, Shapiro's is going to be happy with that goal for sure. They were hoping to get something through. Rodok saying no more roasts because they got a goal. Well, they need a 4 more to tie things up, and now you've got me in a mood. Look, I don't know about you, but the way how I see things, you roast things in an oven, you also bake things in an oven. Shapiro's Legend actually, plays the patient game, waits for the read. I was going to make a terrible joke, but nope. They're keeping us, focused on the match itself. Good touch, good goal for the side of RMIT.
See, I was going to take it and say both, roasting. I don't know. Actually, I completely lost it.
I was going after Muffin. I was going after Crazy Muffin.
Oh, that's so much more clever. I was going to do the classic FGC, they're cooking, because it doesn't matter if it's roasting or baking. It's all cooking. But I don't know. That kind of died in the water. Unlike the chances of both these teams not chances of both teams, unlike the skills exhibited by both these teams. That was the best segue I think I've ever done. I feel like it deserves a round of applause in the chat.
So, speaking of FGCs, when is the practice tool in Rocket League going to be considered the lab?
I'm sad that it's not.
It should be. It really should be, especially when you watch the freestylers go at it. And this is only because I want to play that Dexter's Laboratory song, Uh-Oh, Back to the Lab again, every time I lose a match and then go into the practice tool. But there should be that Rocket League lab. I suppose they had the Rocket League labs with those weird maps that I personally liked but were terrible at. But either way, well off topic right now. Cruz is going to go ahead and try and force things back on to play. We can't get the Brazil score line because Monash ruined that. Thank you, Monash, for allowing another goal. Actually, I'm kidding. It was actually RMIT who ruined it by scoring a nice second goal. Now on defense with 30 seconds left, do RMIT have one last goal in them to end the season?
Oh, they might just. They almost had a pinch. They almost had the little knock there. I'm so stuck in PUBG terminology always because those knocks. It might actually be Monash who have no attacking opportunity. They may not have possession, but they do have the ball in the right spot. A clear from Shapiris is going to put that to an end, at least for now. I mean, a good attempt there from Crazy Muffin to try and keep this play going. I didn't see who that was. Who was just hanging out on the roof, just waiting for that play to possibly come through. I was Rodok. Okay, that makes some sense. Freeze, one more opportunity to try and get some sort of a goal in this game. It's just going to be grounded, and Monash take that 3-0 series win.
Yeah, well played, well won by the Monash side. They came through, they absolutely dominated this one. I wish I could say it was a bit of a surprise, but in reality, we kind of knew Monash as heavy favorites in this matchup. More likely than not, we're going to win it, but fret not. We still have more games around the corner. When we come back, it's going to be the USYD Open Net Esports taking on the UTS Eshays. And as we can sort of take a look at that standings graph right here, Eshays 7-1, Open Net Esports 7-1. This has the billings for a great match.
And it's also to see who gets that second place spot, right? So fundamentally, one of these teams is going to go 8-2. One of them is going to go one of them is going to go 8-1. One of them is going to go 7-2. That's just how it is. That's how it's going to play out. We definitely know that these two teams are, they're not going to end up with a tie. They can't do it from here. It's got to be a fight for second seeding, which, if I'm not mistaken, builds you into that upper bracket and is almost kind of like the first playoff match. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but I'm still very excited for it.
I'm excited for it as too, although a bit of word of warning. There's going to be a little bit of twist coming into this one. We'll explain about that and more when we return. Don't go too far. More Rocket League in just a few moments. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our second match of this triple threat evening. It's now time for Open Net Esports from the University of Sydney taking on the Eshays from UTS. And fun fact going into this next matchup, we got ourselves a 2v3 on our hands. So despite, seeding that is on the line, unfortunately, it is UTS that cannot field a full roster. And this could be a fine opening for, Open Net Esports.
Ironically, the way the names work out might be a bit opposed to how the teams have kind of found themselves in this game. So, but hopefully we have a close game. And I say that, and a lot of people are like, stop trying to engineer like hype for a series which isn't going to be exciting. How many times have we seen 2v3s? I think we've actually seen more 2v3s won by the duo pair than by the trio. Yeah, I genuinely think so.
It has happened a fair bit, but it also happens usually when there's, maybe a bit of a one-sided affair. I don't know. If any team can pull off a 2v3, though, I am kind of leaning towards UTS because it will be Flicky and Knight who will be the two. And these are two of the best players in this entire tournament. They're the reason why UTS is as strong as they are. So for USYD Open Net Esports, if they're going to take down this duo, they still need to play their best game. I think USYD does get it just because, they're strong in their own right. However, I still think we actually have a close match on our hands.
I agree. And I think that when we've talked about, the series I've talked about, yeah, a lot of it has been, the top of the ladder team playing, a middle to lower, kind of strength team. It's not always been that way, and there still has been upsets created. I think we've even seen one game where the two won a game, and then the three lost the next three in a row or something like that. But I think you're right. I think all of the safe money is going to be on any time there's a close match where one team is just straight up missing a player. So fundamentally, I think you said they just have a much better kind of chance at winning this one. Looks like they're going to be straight on the pitch. Of course, you said in blue, UTS in the orange. And I like the fact that the UTS have actually made it a 4v3 by adding extra names.
Yeah, true.
Perfect.
Yeah, Flicky and Central apparently duoing together, as are Knight and Massey. It is Flicky and it is Knight, just not to confuse you all. They are going to be playing on the UTS side. Meanwhile, for USYD, as we wait and see this double touch, it doesn't quite go through. It is Witzel, as well as Biker Glass and Classic Destruct, who, on a bit of a breakaway, almost made something happen. Isn't quite able to find that goal. Biker Glass with another touch, though, will be stopped by Flicky. Look, 2v3s are tough, but they're definitely not impossible. The key to them is obviously, cutting down on unforced errors. And if you're playing as the second member, picking your moments when to strike and making damn well sure you hit it. If you can play consistently, you can win these setups.
Yeah, exactly. And it means that any of those sort of mistakes, obviously a double commit is so much more dangerous in this sort of a situation. But if you can control the game, if you can set up good passes and things, there's no reason why you can't win it. And at the moment, I'm kind of liking what Flicky and Knight are finding. The flick over the top to make the name. It doesn't quite work. The dribble looked really good, but the pressure coming in right now for this UTS side is looking pretty strong. And yeah, it's just impressive given how much of a disadvantage they're playing at.
Yeah, I thought that one was going to be the one. Unfortunately, just came up a little bit short right there. As we see what Flicky can do off that backboard. Only able to go so far with it. Ball back up the other side. Classic Destruct now has a chance to set something up. Ball in front of the net, but Witzel not there in time. Look, when you're playing in that two, as the two, you really do need to treat the game like twos because it's the same pitfall that you have in duos, essentially. The only difference is, yeah, there's one extra opponent, so expect more of your touches to be challenged. But if your rotation game's still the same, there really isn't that much of a difference.
Yeah, that does work a little bit better in sort of theory than execution, but I completely agree. You are, if you can hold your mental strong, that is a good play. Knight goes up, has Flicky for the pass or the set, all kind of the backboard play. Doesn't quite work through there, so Flicky just going to stay back and try and be that stall.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Where it breaks, that's off the backboard, but no one quite there to capitalize
Double
on
commit, and still no one there to punish. Classic Construct, open net, puts one up in the air. Actually goes for a waterfall, and that's a missed opportunity for USYD. They're still going to look for that pass over to Biker Glass. Can't make contact with it. Classic Destruct can, though, and it's a 1-0 lead going to the blue side.
That kind of felt a bit weight of numbers there. They had so many attacks and so many opportunities, and even though a few of them went wide, it just meant that Knight had to be, like you said, it had to be the perfect sort of series of plays. They had to rotate through those two defensive plays. They can't buy some time to go rotate out for boost, nothing like that. And it meant that Knight had one, I think, slight misread. Not even like, it wouldn't be a misread if it was 3v3s. It would just be covering the play. But given the fact that you have to be so astute in how you play, it kind of ended up that way. Knight managed to jink out one, but again, a quick nudge, and the play is going to turn right back around in favor of USYD.
It looks like USYD also just figured out that this isn't really a 2v3, but a 4v3. And I'm wondering how that's going to affect their mental there. As the ball falls in front of the net, Knight able to pass it up to Flicky. Has some space to work with. Couldn't quite make the touch, but the pass is still good. Knight, though, came in a little bit too quick. Wasn't able to quickly adjust to get up for that ball, which we'll see it sail back to the corner where Knight will follow it through. Classic Destruct bumped off by Witzel. Biker Glass throwing it back to the middle. No one home except for Knight. Shot. It's going to be a bit wide. Second shot, a bit tight. Third shot, it comes from Flicky and gets shut down.
They needed to capitalize on that one. They needed to make something happen. I mean, it's not easy. It's not like, I know I'm saying that they just needed to score that, but it is much harder. Couple of opportunities now, which UTS haven't quite found the actual closer on. So they kind of gonna have to bring out that execution, make it a bit tighter. You mentioned that yourself, Formal, but yeah, they're not quite finding it right at the moment. A bit of a dangerous position for the ball as well. Flicky has to get back for this one. Is able to because the play was a bit slow on the attack, but I mean, you know, you said they have all the time in the world to work with.
Yeah, that they do, and with a minute 8 remaining, Witzel now is going to try to dribble it up the field. Ball kind of gets smashed through the corner, back up the other way. Shot, target, goal! Flicky finds the equalizer with 1:01 to spare.
If I'm not much mistaken, that was actually an overextension. Yeah, it was. It was an overextension from the side of USYD. It's impressive how well UTS has actually managed to keep themselves from overextending when the one goal which was scored on them was just because there was so much pressure on the attacking line, and it's USYD who make the first major rotational mistake to cost them a goal, and that's incredibly impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is actually a massive blunder, in my opinion, by the USYD side as well, because when you're playing in this 3v2 situation as the team of 3, you really shouldn't be making those kinds of mistakes. I mean, yeah, use the numbers to your advantage, yes, but don't go too crazy with it. Otherwise, you still can't get punished. Now, with 30 seconds left in regulation, it is feeling like the next goal is going to win this game, be it in the next 30 seconds or even a little bit extra. Haven't had an OT yet tonight. Of course, it would come in the 2v3. Ball going back to the blue side of the pitch, though, as we see Flicky underneath. Pass to the middle. Knight is there. Shot's a bit too far across to the left.
I'm a bit worried about this rotation back. I mean, Flicky is there, but I thought there might be a few more numbers. And yeah, like an overtime in the 2v3 might be big, but Flicky doesn't want that to happen, doesn't want to take it to that extra time. This one, I thought it was a little bit dangerous, but of course these players, they know how to run, they know how to build up speed on the play, and Witzel has one more opportunity, but probably would be happy taking that overtime given, like I say, they have that extra
No
numbers.
way. No way.
But it can't, it's just off the crossbar, and there's definitely no third player in 2v3. And that's going to be it overtime in game 1. This is still a close series somehow.
Yeah, this absolutely is. I did say Knight and Flicky, 2 of the best players in this tournament. And they are kind of proving it right now in a 2v3 against another top team in their group, a team that's most likely going to the playoffs. And this team of 2s is absolutely taking it to them. Now Knight trying to slow things down in the middle of the pitch. Flicky is forced to pass it back a bit where Biker Glass is waiting. Loses out on the challenge. Flicky clears it across the middle where Classic Destruct will try to get some space with it. Biker Glass following it forward. No boost to work with. Has to do it with, well, that little pivot. Doesn't get too far further. Now off the backboard and opening. Ball slowly rolling towards the net. Fit survives game number 1.
You said maybe got a little bit too slow. Not too slow, but too conservative there. Actually, it was just Flicky getting an unfortunate touch off Knight. They were trying to rotate so tightly around each other, as you have to when you're trying to play that duo defense. But they went a little bit too tight, kind of tripped the other up. Just the tiniest bit. Again, not like by a huge amount, but enough that you said were able to find their opening. And yeah, in terms of the stakes of this game, you mentioned the fact that these are 2 of the top teams. This group, the actual playoffs, is sorted. There is no way the playoff status can change right now. These 2 teams, plus the number 1 seed in the group, who I've forgotten the name of it. Yeah, UQU Purple, who are another ridiculously good team. They're all locked for playoffs now. They're all locked for the finals. It's just a matter of who gets that 2nd seed. And these are the 2 teams who are contesting it. So that's what is at stake for this series and why I'm so excited. And why the fact that UTS are fighting so hard is commendable, because, you know, they don't want to give up that 2nd seed spot if they can avoid it.
I mean, Flicky had the most shots in the game with that one. 7 shots coming out of Flicky in that matchup. And UTS actually, I believe, tied USYD in the amount of shots taken altogether. So it was a real back-and-forth game despite the numbers disadvantage. And I hope that's a bit of a wake-up call for USYD because they had a fair few more unforced errors, be it there was a couple awkward touches, 1 or 2 whiffs, and not to mention that big triple commit which cost them a goal early. They can't afford to make those mistakes. Not in this. What? What? No, that didn't just happen. Good kickoff for Biker Class.
Yeah, fantastic kickoff. It was quite a... Yeah, he got the ball really quickly as well. Love to see it. Knight now trying to solo contest this one, playing a bit of disruption. I don't know. Playing a bit of disruption. Biker Class tries to make the solo effort with the pass off to Weitzel, but Flicky is there to take that first touch. He's going to take a contest. Actually does a really good job in winning that 50 against Weitzel. Puts the ball right in front of goal. Is Knight going to be able to get it, but can't quite. This Classic is a bit too fast there. 2 players are up here, so if they can't find a pass or some sort of disruption, this might be a relatively open goal. But, well, time bought fantastically there from Knight, allowing Flicky to get back once again. The duos, they're still trying to find these faster plays. Great 50 from Knight, straight down the field, and they get it.
Great pinch coming from Knight and Flicky. This duo doing work, and yeah, that was just a pinch from Knight right there, straight down the middle. Wasn't the fastest goal, 71 kilometers per hour, but I think just the unexpected nature of it, plus the weird bounce it had in the middle of the field, threw the defense off, and now we got ourselves a 1-0 lead for the team of 2.
It was fast enough. That's the thing, you know. And as it stands, that's exactly what they need. That small advantage, not playing from behind, not feeling like they're constantly pressured, being able to put a bit more of that emphasis on kind of keeping the ball, playing a possessive style, and then kind of marching it up the field. Not feeling like you have to be not kind of trying to balance overextending with being able to make the rotations back. Weitzel puts the ball in a pretty dangerous position right now. Who is there to pick it up? It's going to be Biker Glass. Doesn't quite put that one on target either. Allows Knight to stay back a little bit and watch for the counterplay. Weitzel is going to put it above the goal again, but there aren't any more players in position for this. Weitzel gets it again, to be fair. I mean, the midfield pressure you expect to be coming through quite fast. You really need to
it is
right now if you are the side of UTS, but yeah, just Biker Glass. Perfect position. Weitzel off the wall. Just manages to has enough options, enough room to create, as well as it already put enough pressure on the defense that they weren't able to respond to that.
And that right there was, I hate to say it, but the numbers game. The fact that, again, UTS felt like they had no one to play it a bit further forward to sort of disrupt that setup happening probably would not have been the case had they had that third member. So the extra time being given because of the man's disadvantage. Knight, bicycle kick save, follow-up from Bitzel, a bit wide to the left. And that follow-up shot again, the dunk also goes wide to the left. So 3 shots, nothing connects. 3 strikes, you're out. But, oh, we can't hit a home run going back the other way. Flicky shuts it down middle of the field. Going to have one last attempt at it, but with no boost, has to pull away.
Yeah, but the quick counterattack, it was almost there. They almost saw another 50 going in favor of UTS, but they don't quite have the numbers to play off it. Classic just puts the ball out wide. I mean, Flicky is there in a good position, but again, they need that third player to be able to put the ball away. Knight has to make the rotation back. Can't afford to completely give up this defensive line or even the midfield control. An attempt at the pinch goes forward, but doesn't quite work out, and Knight's just in the perfect spot to kind of flick that one away. They are back on the back foot right now. 1-1 is the scoreline. Half the game gone so far, and the ball just put in another dangerous position, but it's off a little high once again.
Knight almost got to that. That could have been something crazy had they been able to find that next touch. Biker Glass, though, going to try to create some space in the box. Ball gets pinched up high underneath. Classic Destruct makes the read onto Knight. Has a little bit of boost to play with. Finds the next touch. Knight makes the save. Vitzel makes a push forward. Ball in the net and eventually gets dunked through by Biker Glass. 2-1 lead for the University of Sydney.
I saw that touch coming through at the final second. Knight pulling this quick rotate through and just being able to get it out of there. But Biker Glass just, there's nothing you can really do to stop that. And it was close. It was scarily close, but we're back to a 2-1 scoreline. Of course, we saw this one coming out of the overtime in that first game. But, I mean, anytime USYD have the advantage in terms of goals, they're going to feel good. Classic Destruct just finds another one. Didn't see if that was a pinch or not. But at the end of the day, the pressure they're just putting on immediately, especially off kickoff, is looking very good. Yeah,
Classic Destruct just got that very forward-playing sort of aggressiveness, and that's exactly what I would expect to see from USYD. But not everyone, just like 1 or 2 at a time, always making sure you have a member back because, I mean, well, obvious reasons I always think you should have a member back, but even in the 2v3, it allows you to send 2 forward, 1 back consistently and always have at worst a 1v1 situation in theory. So very good to see that USYD now starting to kind of use their numbers to their advantage like we wanted to see a bit more in game number 1. Still plenty of time left in this game, 100 seconds remaining, but if UTS drops this one and fall down, 2-0 series score-wise in a 2v3 already, you have to admit things are pretty dire despite how strong of a players both Knight and Flicky have proven to be.
Yeah, and there was almost an opportunity there, but it didn't quite work through, and I think you're right. I think what this could be setting up for, because of, as you said, how good these players are and how well they can play. There's 4 players in the roster, 1 sub. The one thing you can't have when you're playing a 2v3 is for the goalpost to play for your opponent.
Yeah, single time. Knight so good at those situations time and time again. Definitely a player to look out for moving forward as we go to those playoffs for that element of their gameplay alone. Now, as we sit 45 seconds away from a 2-0 lead for USYD, pressure on UTS. Can they get out of their defensive half? You can see it's a more patient play coming from USYD. They're waiting till their moment. Swing and a miss from Classic Destruct, though, gives Flicky some space to work with.
Yeah, and has actually put that in a pretty good position, but they can't quite finish it off, can't quite close it out. They need to have one player back. They can't afford to overcommit on the attacks, but I think they kind of almost have to. They have to be super confident in these plays. Just go for broke in a couple of them, because there's been a few situations where they've tried to make solo efforts, and I mean, I know you don't want to put your mate. I know you don't want to put your mate in a situation where they have to make these big rotate back. But if you're going 1v3 in the attack, you just can't quite make it. Knight tries to make an opportunity there. They do go for it. They do play the aggressive play. They have the chance to maybe get one back, but that's still quite be it is. But again, it just was a little bit too late. It hits in the after the timer has hit 0.
Yeah, I mean that was a very nice goal from Flicky. I don't want to take that away from them. But do you still consider this a 1-goal differential at the end? Like when you are already down, but you still score at the last moment? Like, I don't know. It's a hard one to read. Either way, USYD, they're up 2-0 in this 2v3 series, potentially about to clean sweep UTS, which would be a massive victory for them, despite the fact, yes, UTS are down a member. I'm worried, though, because it feels like UTS, they are on the cusp of starting to take this series back.
They are, but they've kind of felt like that the entire time, They, except for that very first goal of the game where it kind of thought, okay, it's going to, fall behind. They've looked good. They've looked like they've had a chance to find it. Like, they've actually, as you said, had a lot of shots on goal. They've had a lot of moments where they could almost quite put it through. It's just that the ball was, a couple of pixels even to a different side, or a couple of voxels. I'm sure a lot of people who are into game design would get very upset at me. 2 players jump up for that one from the defense, and it means the ball goes straight across the line from Biker Glass. A fantastic angle, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's a double commit in the middle of the field from UTS, and Biker Glass had to make that corner work. Fantastic shot. But it comes off a misplay out of the UTS side, and it's one that they can ill afford to make at this stage of the series.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm a bit surprised that happened, to be honest, but maybe it's just because they kind of, took a break in that game, kind of lost focus for half a second. They'll pull it back. I hope that's the case, but they are fighting back from a 1-goal deficit. Feels like that has been happening quite a bit. 2 players, again, they've both played pretty aggressively. There's another double commit straight away, so maybe that confidence is shaken a little bit. Maybe they're starting to feel the weight of this disadvantage, but Weitzel is just going to go for the big dribble. It's going to be put in straight from Classic Destruct, and no real opportunity for the defense given the positions they were in.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the pass play to get Flicky off balance, and then Knight was stuck in a 2v1. Flicky was able to rotate back, but had no time to center themselves or had, the boost available to be used in that situation. It was just, 2 2v1s in a row going in favor of USYD. They slowed the pace down on the attack. They caused the defense to come in one at a time, which they should do. But, again, it's that numbers advantage now starting to pay dividends. You don't have that third member to kind of match that 2v1 with the 2v2. Oh, my goodness, that's going to go through. It looked as if the 50 in front of the net would hold, but Witzel says, nah, we're winning this series today.
Yeah, barely goes across there. Barely goes across there. Only just goes across, whatever. You know what I mean? But I was very stressed about that one, and I think the idea, the strength the 2v3 have, and Knight Flicky specifically, not the advantage of playing 2v3, but the things Knight and Flicky can do well, the openings they can find, predicate on them not having to be pressured that hard in defense. I don't know if there's much they can do if they're going to be in those sort of defensive positions. Outside of, obviously there is an opportunity for them to play off flawless defense and to potentially be able to clear that out. But the things we've been complimenting them on primarily have been their ability to engineer really creative attacking opportunities. But again, if they're stuck on defense, that's not going to happen. And I think USYD have done a really great opportunity of keeping them on that back foot.
As we do see Classic Destruct losing out to Flicky in the 50 across the middle. Witsel from behind doesn't have the read, and Flicky's going to get one back. 4 goals in our first minute and a half. I mean, normally a 3-0 scoreline would be a death sentence, but when you're getting, second redirects like this off the post and in, 3.5 minutes is a lot of time for 2 goals to be scored.
It is. It is a very long time. And again, it's like, it comes down to whether or not, I genuinely believe it comes down to whether or not the attacking, the side of UTS can sort of engineer an attack. They're clearly good when they do, but they need to sort of get at that point. This is a dangerous position for their opponents to be in, but Flicky is just going to redirect or a pinch here. Goes up high, but pulls it straight back into the defense. And Flicky now going to have to rebuild this whole attack from scratch.
Yeah, but, I mean, USYD can always challenge. They can always send a player forward as they continue to do so, nearly finding the goal right there. Biker Glass just didn't have the height to catch that pass. Now going the other way. Flicky does have Knight underneath. Shot saved by Classic, who was able to just sit in the ghost. Follow-up shot, though, saved this time by Biker Glass. And there's no third man. There's no third shot, and that could have been the opening. Instead, they go for the demo. That nearly opens up a breakaway for Flicky, but because of the demo, Classic spawns right back behind the ball.
Classic just kind of spawns and says,
"Oh, bump!"
Hit the opportunity, though, Knight! Oh, no. So close.
Oh, that was the play. The bump comes through, but the shot a little too high and off the post. Now we head back up to that orange side of the pitch. Knight trying to drive it straight down the middle. Caught by Biker Glass, who is unable to follow it up. A bit too much power being put on the ball as the increased tempo actually benefiting the UTS side. They're forcing awkward touches out of USYD, although now, again, you can see just too much power behind it, and the next USYD member are struggling to make the reads. So if they can continue to keep this increased pace right now for UTS, they could find more opportunities.
I expect they will. It's just whether or not they find the capitalization on them, whether or not they're able to do it. This ball is going to waterfall right in front of goals. Flicky
Oh!
They did it! Barely, barely, barely. We talked, I think, like last week, I don't know if it was on air or not, about slow goals. That one, 39 kilometers an hour. Not the slowest we've ever seen, but geez, it barely makes it. Now it's a 1-goal lead, 1 minute 46 seconds. The number of goals you have to score per second isn't that different, but it just looks so much more doable.
That it absolutely does. Although, I will say this in regards to the slow goals, as, oh my goodness, this could be a death blow perhaps. Classic taking advantage of the 2v1 after the kickoff, once again putting USYD in a more comfortable position.
A fair bit more comfortable as well. That does change the sort of the rate at which you have to play the game. But again, I still don't believe that it's impossible for UTS, right? And I think that that's probably a very nothing statement. But if they, oh, okay, well, that might be impossible.
Wow. I am so confused by what we saw right here. Knight just, oh, because of the 3v2. Both of the defenders starting in the backboard, no one in the corner. So it was always going to be a situation where USYD gets to the ball first.
Oh, no. That's so rough. I mean, they still probably could have coordinated that one, but I certainly wouldn't have been able to pick that out. Ball going almost over Classic Destruct. Could have been another opportunity there. But Flicky now playing a 1v3. Bit of a minky 1v3, as all players can be rushing the ball a little bit, but they have managed to build themselves a bit more space. Biker Glass going to have the opportunity to make the passing play. Good intercept, actually, by Flicky there, as Weitzel's going to run over the line.
Open net!
The opportunity. Open net. The player is not going to be fast enough. We're back to 2 goals. They're making the 1 goal every 30 seconds tempo, but it's still a long way to go, and that's just to take it to an extra game.
This is getting very interesting, actually, because that 2-goal lead, we've seen so many 2-goal comebacks in the final minute of games before. Putting into context, though, this would be a massive blow if USYD can't finish off UTS here. Biker Glass looking again for that 3-goal lead. 2 defenders commit, but no one's able to follow up. It was actually well placed by Flicky to get that one on that backward on the corner. Now back up the other way. Knight has the setup that they want. Goes for the dunk, but cannot find the touch over Biker Glass, who now has some more space to work with. Flicky keeping that aggression moving forward. Knight has a look at the middle of the field, goes up for it, but can't get to the ball in time as Classic finds a devastating clear.
And Biker Glass has put it in the corner now. Weitzel trying to find some sort of situation. I mean, as long as the ball's slow, they feel like they're comfortably controlling this game. 30 seconds to go now. You do still have that 0-second opportunity if you are UTS to try and find a goal. But with Knight. Okay, it finally baited me. Getting demoed there. It's just going to slow down the game once a second. 18 seconds left. The timer ticking down as Biker Glass going to have an opportunity to put it back in the corner and slow it down once again.
Yep, that should do it for this game, set, and match. USYD, they had the numbers advantage. They made it work for them. They'll get that victory 5-4, or will they? Hold on. Hold on. 1 second.
Don't do this to me. There's no way. They can't even get the ball in time, surely.
Knight begging for it. They want the overtime. Oh, they didn't have the jank kickoff. Knight has a chance, has to stay underneath it. They're giving it to him. No, and Knight throws it. They were giving them the overtime, and Knight dropped the ball.
Oh, no.
Oh, immediately gone. Lag GG. Oh, my goodness.
That ended up being a far more entertaining series than it had any right to be. I mean, it still ended up being a main event in a certain regards. We still have another good series, though. We still have another fantastic series to go. I expect some good things from that as well. But, oh, my God, that one was incredibly, incredibly odd. I think we had 2 kickoffs, which went interestingly. That 3, including that last one.
I feel for Knight. Like, trust me when I say there is no player on that pitch that I would trust in that situation to dribble a ball from point A to point B than Knight. That was one of the flukiest things I've ever seen, and I feel for him. But that's what cost them at the end of the day. Yes, we do have another banger up next. UOM Louis&Champs versus Southern Cross Blue in a Group B matchup. Let me just bring up the standings once again in Group B. So you can see Louis&Champs 6-2, Southern Cross Blue 5-2. Only 3 teams go to the playoffs. Yeah, this could be a death blow for one of these teams if they can't get a win. It's 3 versus 4. Only one of them will be going to those playoffs, Fetch. You're not going to want to miss this next match.
Absolutely not. It's going to be so exciting.
righty. It's going to be these two teams right here. UOM, Louis&Champs taking on lose, and you're definitely out. Win, you are definitely in. For Louis&Champs, well, of course, there's Louis. There's
very exciting. We've got a couple of qualifier matches, or I could say, yeah, like kind of seeding qualifier style matches today. And this one, with the fact the other last one was a disadvantage, we will have, I believe, a clean 3v3. So this should be a good series. That's just kind of all there is to say about it. I think fundamentally it's kind of weird given like the way the schedule is broken out. You can't say exactly who's going to be the favorites in this game because of how stylistic matchups and things go. You can kind of throw results-based analysis in there and be like, ah, yeah, that's easy to say. But I'm genuinely not 100% sure who is going to do this.
Southern Cross.
Interesting.
Yep.
I understand why you say that, but I'm not 100% sure I can agree with it. There's like something in my gut which is like, I don't know. I don't know if they can do this.
All right. Well, we'll see if they can or not, giving them the okay to go when ready. I'm doing it in the slowest way possible. But yeah, we are kicking this one off right now. Best of 5 on the board. Playoffs on the line. It does not get much more dramatic than this as we go straight into the action.
Yeah, there it is. And of course, it's going to be UOM on blue, Southern Cross in the orange, and Tira is already finding a good opportunity from the pass there from CJ.
Yeah, whoa. Put that one a bit too deep right there, realistically. Fluxy's still able to turn it around, but finally we get to see strategy get that deep clear. Just real quick through the lineups for UOM, who's actually playing today. It is going to be Strategy, AU, Madiba, as well as Gene. For the side of Southern Cross, you have T-Riz, CJ Flames, and Fluxy, a.k.a. Flucarino, a.k.a. the first goal scorer of the game.
I don't know why I enjoy the fact that they changed the name to Flucarino, but yeah, it is Fluxy. T-Riz sets up the pass. Fluxy is just there. A couple of defenders, both, again, like I say, kind of taking up the same space. One being a static defender, one trying to come in from the rotation. But at the end of the day, it does mean there's no one there back to kind of cover that goal. That was relatively quick from memory. T-Riz goes for the early demo into Madiba. Means that Fluxy has an opportunity to set this one back. Tries to pass it back to CJ, but didn't quite have the height to get that one. The remaining boost plays off the backboard. It looks like there might be another quick off scoring opportunity. Fluxy going to be able to kind of keep establishing this attack, and CJ doesn't make the connection there. It was very dangerous for a second there.
Yeah, but at that same token, you can see some reservation on UOM. They're not really playing forward. They're not challenging the midfield at all, just giving it to Southern Cross. And when they're getting these defensive touches, they were also very powerful ones as well. So finally, it was Madiba who actually slowed the pace down long enough to get them on that attacking side. Shot off the post. Follow-up should be in as Strategy is able to get that open net through. Tie ball game.
Ooh, Strategy has the top hat. That's going to be a big advantage here. And yeah, I thought that first shot might have had it. We managed to pull 3 defenders into a bit of a frenzy there. I'm not going to say it was a full-on triple commit, but you know, they all kind of had to panic a bit, had to kind of react to it. And so I do like that, exactly as you kind of called them out, UOM start picking up the aggression, start getting a bit more physical. I was going to say, as well as those defensive touches being really strong, they've done all right at winning some of the aerial contests, the 50s and whatnot. It's not like they've been completely outclassed. They just haven't managed to go for them as much. Strategy tries to clear that one out. Another double commit, but it puts the ball in a pretty safe position for them to be able to come back on the rotate.
Yeah, that said, you can see with the way how Southern Cross are positioning themselves forward quite frequently. They are trying to keep pestering, and I think it's going to be another one of those sort of relentless attack styles where you sort of expect every touch either to be a pass for the shot or the shot itself. Not many clearing touches coming from that Southern Cross side as Flucarino puts it forward up to CJ Flames, who spikes it in. 2-1 lead for the orange side.
Yeah, they're so good at finding, not just finding these opportunities, but knowing when the play is on, knowing how to kind of play it slow, kind of hold on to possession and things like that. But again, UOM didn't play super aggressive into that. They still back. They had those reservations. They need to get out of that habit. I think that was a really great call you made there. But in a plays like that, I guess you're so worried about all the different angles the play can come from. CJ going to receive this one back in the defensive corner. Just gets exploded by Mata, but doesn't even care about trying to take possession of the ball. Means that T-Riz should be able to get this one first. Ball goes up high, and it will be a defense in the first attempt, but the backup is going to be there, and Fluxy finds another one. Yep,
that's going to be Fluxy's second goal of the series as we see T-Riz right here. Again, it's pressure through shots. Every time a member of Southern Cross seems to have the possession of the ball, their thing is I'm going to shoot it forward or I'm going to pass it forward. But no matter what, the ball is going to go forwards and it's going to go towards the net. And this pressure is getting to Louis&Champs. I mean, they playing a more passive game. I think that's a direct result of how quick some of these shots are coming at them. They're forcing Louis to sometimes make awkward double commits and panic a little bit. I really like this approach right now coming from the Southern Cross side.
Yeah, it's clearly working out really, really well for them. And it feels like they've got the experience and the skill, which, I mean, I didn't outright kind of say it, but that was kind of what I was alluding to when I said the safe bet. When you called that you expected them to be the ones winning this series, I kind of mentioned that makes sense, because that's the thing. They do have some fantastic talent on this team. Of course, no slouches in their opponent, UOM either. Mataba has an opportunity, has to play a 1v1, but if they take it too slowly, it's going to cost them. But Mataba wins that one, plays the tempo flawlessly, and now it's a 1-goal ball game with 2 remaining.
Yeah, I mean, the fake attempt kind of turned into a double fake right there. T-Riz expecting it to go behind them, and then the ball wound up going forward. So Mataba, the double fake, pays dividends. 1-point game, 2 minutes to go. Kickoff, though, is going to go through, and we're back to a 2-point lead.
Yeah, you just can't seem to make this comeback happen. Every time I think that UOM have it, I think that UOM found their pace in this game. There's just something else which goes wrong. That time, it was a kickoff goal. And I mean, hey, SAU, they know what they're doing. They know what they have to do to win this series, and it's sort of, they're putting in exactly that much work right now.
I have never seen so many kickoff goals quite like tonight. It's been a weird night for kickoffs. I will say that. CJ Flames throwing it up to Fluxy, who just hits the post. Follow through by T-Riz is not there in time. Mataba now on that counter play, stopped by CJ Flames. Fluke Arena will be there to back the teammate up. Chases it up off the ceiling. Has a chance for a crazy shot here. Look to go for the dribble, but has it taken away.
Yeah, but the pressure kind of keeps going through. T-Riz is going to be able to put this one up high. Tries to actually get that. Wins the 50 against G in a pretty dominant fashion, but 2 attackers both go up at the same time. Lack of coordination there means the strategy's counterattack could be quite big. Does whiff on that ball, on that shot at least. Fluxy is going to be able to pick it up and push it out wide. G in a second opportunity to take this one. So just able to get there faster, but can't get it past T-Riz. So no team able to find enough possession for long enough to set up some sort of attack until CJ has an answer. Off the backboard as well, but no defenders have been just yet, and Mataba's going to be the one to see this one out of the goals. Yeah,
eventually Mataba has an open net, and that will go through. So we're going to go back to within 1 goal with just under a minute to play.
Yeah, that was really good awareness as well. Just being able to see that opening, see the overcommitment, and yeah, if you do play aggressive, the relentless attacking, relentless aggression, as we said, ruthless aggression, whatever, that's fine, I got the reference. If that style comes through, the problem is that you overextend and can be punished off a big defensive clear, which UOM can do.
They can, but haven't really seen it too much. Yeah, I mean, they've had their brief moments, absolutely, but that's going to be another one. Mataba across the middle, so there you go. They're finding some of these, like, 1v1s, and that's when Mataba strikes. I believe Mataba... Has Mataba scored all 4 goals so far for this UOM side? It really feels like it.
3 and 1 from strategy.
Yeah, my goodness. Mataba's so good at picking these gaps and just sniping it in.
Yeah, and it's going to look for another opportunity. I mean, CJ will be able to disrupt this one, but it might still be a dangerous play if they can't find a clearance. Fluxy does miss it. CJ puts a great pass off to Mataba again. That quick turnaround, the opportunistic play, and Mataba just knowing exactly where to be. You see them dropping just out of the side of Flame. Gene flicks it forward. Sorry, Gene, not CJ. I don't know why I got those kind of confused. But Mataba, yeah, just playing but just calling the spot to be in perfectly. Great coordination, and now they're in the lead with 30 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it's been some great games coming from Mataba so far in this one. As we hit our final 30 seconds, another scoring opportunity, perhaps for the side of UOM. A 6-goal game would be massive, but it's a swing and a miss from Gene that will allow CJ Flames to go back up the other way. Ball through the corner, swing and a miss, and Mataba again finds the hole, gets the ball all the way to the opponent's backboard. 10 seconds left to spare, and T-Riz is going to have to try to slow it down, going to have to try to do something to get the ball away from Mataba. Eventually, we do go back to the blue side of the pitch. T-Riz is underneath. Ball in the box will drop, and UOM take game number 1.
T-Riz was so happy to play that slow and was like, I reckon I can outweigh you, and then realized that they were down a goal and had the timer going. It was like, oh no. And to be fair, given that play a little bit longer, maybe there was something which could have come from it. But yeah, T-Riz kind of realized, like, had that very quick realization of the timer ticking down, kind of felt it. 4 shots for, I think the big news for me is 4 shots from Mataba, 4 goals from Mataba, and I think the same thing went from strategy. What I think is really cool about this UOM comeback, at least in that game in particular, is the fact that it wasn't just Mataba putting the team on the back. It was Mataba kind of enabling the rest of the team to all have some sort of function in that game. And I like that. You know, that's the sort of thing I really enjoy seeing in these team games.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great turnaround from a team that was struggling early to start to find the holes in the over-aggressive Southern Cross side. I still like Southern Cross's approach, but they had a couple, one too many unforced errors, quite literally, as there was a 1-goal difference in that game, that did wind up hurting them. And it's good to know that on the UM side, they do have a player in Manaba that will be able to recognize those mistakes when they happen and put themselves in position to punish. However, as we kick off our next game, it will be once again Southern Cross striking first.
Yeah, and a very powerful goal coming through from Fluxy. Just sort of looks a little bit, well, UM in particular looked a little bit like in their first game. Admittedly, that was a much faster play, a much faster ball. Then we kind of, I think, got in that first game a little bit coming out of the side of oh my god, my brain is just not working right now. Of course, it's Southern Cross, but yeah, UM kind of stood back a bit, got a little bit more passive once again. If they keep doing that, then they can keep giving up these early leads. They're going to be relying on the comebacks, and that's not ideal. They have the aggression right here. A great 50 is going to put the pressure on CJ, but Mataba didn't want to quite go for the sting there. He's going to be able to take the ball, reset the attack, keep the possession, and gets it off CJ as well. Mataba is such a threat in this front line.
Yes, we do see a couple swings, a couple misses. Ball starting to roll back, but Mataba will collect. Trying to drive it across that middle of the field. Cut off by CJ Flames. Gene still keeps it held up high. As underneath, that is Strategy, who found the 50 straight to Mataba again. Going for that lob shot will be read by Fluxy, who takes it back across the middle of the field. 2 defenders back at the moment, but neither watching the play. Fluxy across to T-Riz. That's going to be a 2-0 lead.
Thought that might have been intercepted, but they wait a little bit too long. Tragedy and Mataba both kind of looking to clear this one out. Neither player kind of hits the ball, and it was realistically, unless I saw this wrong, it was in their control. They had the ability to get to the ball first. Of course, they were at a slightly awkward angle, but it probably should have been at least cleared or disrupted there in that play. Fluxy goes up forward, managed to pull it past 2 players, thanks to the help of, I think it was T-Riz. Gene's going to pick this one up, but again, they're not clearing it. They're not putting it anywhere. They're not doing anything with it in spite of getting that first touch. CJ is going to sort of miss that shot, and it's unfortunate, but you know, they just get to line up another play if they can get this ball out of their defensive line.
Well, they're going to be trying their best to. Strategy, though. What? 3 strikes are out, Fetch. I tried to make the joke before, but this time we can see it in action. As first T-Riz, 1, CJ, 2, and then Fluxy, 3. All of them do not make contact with the ball. 2-1 game.
You know how we said whiffs are contagious? Well, I'm very proud of UOM for getting vaccinated. There we are, topical. But like, that is, you know, it is kind of the way I think sometimes when one teammate messes up, it's like, oh no, everything goes to a bit of a disaster. And it was very unfortunate, but it does keep UOM in this game. A couple of defenses went for that one, but they did manage to pull the ball out. So luckily enough, nothing to be punished from that. T-Riz is going to try and set up this cross, and there's a couple of players there.
Oh.
And this time it's Fluxy. Almost gets it, does get it, just in that angle. Wait, was that our own goal?
Does that count? Does that count? That's the question, because that's off. Oh, yeah. That counts. There it is. 15 really casts in a row. Woo! We did it.
I thought today was going to be the day. I thought it was going to be it. I was like, I'm so sure this is going to be the day where it doesn't happen. And it took us to our 3rd series. It often does before we had our first own goal, but it's fine. T-Riz is going to set this one up, try and really work for this one. Fluxy almost gets it. Does take the 3rd player to put it through, but it gets interrupted just before CJ can get the touch on it. T-Riz going back from the attack again, but that's just to build a bit more time to regain some defensive structure. Gene wants to put this one forward, but again, kind of puts it to a defender. So there's going to be possession flipped back over to Southern Cross.
As we do see the ball go across that middle of the field right now from underneath. T-Riz can't quite finish off that play. Instead, it'll be Strategy who gets jammed up in the corner. CJ Flames forced to rotate back. Gets that ball slowed down as well. Mataba almost had the opening, but isn't able to get one back, at least not right away. Fluxy now throwing it all the way back to that blue side of the pitch where 2 defenders were waiting, but it's another weird touch from Strategy here, and that actually might lead to a Fluxy shot. Double commit on defense. Strategy has to stay underneath, but T-Riz keeps it up high. Opening eventually will find itself. Not quite. Gene was able to rotate around and make the save.
Yeah, CJ tries to pass off to Fluxy. Fluxy admittedly wasn't contested there to do a good little push, but Strategy has an opportunity, puts the ball up above the goal. It's in a rough position, but wasn't quite enough for the 3rd player. Gene goes up for that one, completely whiffs. It's going to be Strategy back on the defense. Southern Cross in a much better situation this game. They managed to control the pace, and even though they're still only down 2 goals, which wasn't enough last time, they are in a slightly better position. Strategy gets the waterfall down the shot. Gene gets it, and I just cast a curse them as Gene finds another one. 1 minute and 18 seconds before this, for them to score one more goal.
Yeah, they've still got a bit of time. The double commit right there was an awkward one because both defenders went up high when the shot came down low. And yeah, 118, plenty of time for a goal to be scored. I mean, we're averaging well over a goal a minute, so I feel like perhaps UOM will be able to bring this one through. They're on the attack after the kickoff, although Madiba may have gone a bit too eager, went too far forward. That's going to leave it up to Gene to dish it back over to what has been a bit of a sniper for the UOM side. Still, it was a Southern Cross attack. That's a big swing and a miss. T-Riz actually gets a little bit there quickly, and that's going to set up strategy. No shot to be had just yet. Under a minute to go. Blue side on the attack. Madiba swings and misses.
That could have been really, really dangerous.
Still
but
is.
It still is. There's 3 players commit for that one, and it goes. I mean, that one comes off the crossbar. 2 to 3 still. I mean, it's Southern Cross who just have to play for time in that one. They can just control and play defensive. If they can keep the possession up, they'll be in a very, very good spot. T-Riz wants to go for the attack. It just gets denied.
Under 30 seconds remaining in game number 2, and it is looking like we could be seeing Southern Cross hold on to this one. Madiba, though, not giving up yet. Gets the ball to the orange side corner where Gene has a look but decides not to commit. So we see CF Flames gets it towards the net. Ball still bouncing in front of it. T-Riz with a chance to end this game. Gets the dunk, gets the goal, and that's a 4-2 lead.
I'm expecting that this is the start of a wonderful series. It was, okay. That goal in particular was kind of forced. It was very good from Southern Cross. They had the pressure. They kept it up. Pretty fundamental goal, I guess you could call it. But I want to say the fact that Southern Cross have actually held off UM's attacks pretty well. Fluxy goes up for another one. Might have time to finish that point. But yeah, they're just going to secure it. They're going to make sure to play it slowly and stop any tiny possibility for them to throw that game. But yeah, UOM, they actually managed to find more shots in that game. I think they did in the last one, or a similar number maybe. But they only found 2 goals. I feel like that's a huge credit to the fact that not only was Southern Cross getting much better, I felt like getting much better possession, but they actually held in on the defense just that much more, and they were able to keep a bit of stability they didn't quite have in that last game, even in spite of the fact there were still quite a few double commits, which cost them and in various parts of that game at least.
I still want to keep on going back, though, to UOM's inconsistent defensive touches, though, as being a major catalyst for it. Because sometimes UOM does get nice dish outs to players pushing up the field and attacking forwards, and then other times they'll just sort of bang the ball to an awkward position that can't get capitalized upon, and that just allows the attack to remain consistent for the side of Southern Cross. I feel that's why, yeah, the series is 1-1, but I still am kind of sticking with my prediction that Southern Cross, to me, has been looking like the better team thus far. Madiba has been doing a great job sometimes, but even now you can see Southern Cross, they're playing a little bit further back than what we saw in game number 1, and that's providing less opportunities for some of these sort of sniper touches that we got previously. I don't know about this one, Fetch. I mean, obviously still plenty of time to see how Southern Cross will react, but as it stands right now, I mean, I'm really impressed with how this orange side is playing.
I agree. No, I completely agree. And that's what I was, I might have said the wrong teams, but that's what I was trying to say about their defense. It's the fact that they were able to pull more aggression and things like that. And even if they weren't completely consistent, they were better than they were in that last series. So I'm just interested to see how this goes. I genuinely still don't feel like I could pick a winner right now. And I still take your point. And I think it's a really, really, really good point as the pinch comes in very aggressively. CJ wants to try and chase that one down the field. Is given a second to the play, so we'll have to kind of leave that one to T-Riz to try and contest. And Adama gets turtled a little bit there, so it's going to take a small second. I was worried about that CJ play as well, but it didn't quite come through. Attack might be flipped now if UOM have anything to say about it.
I mean, UOM's going to be looking for it. Shot down the middle will be saved by T-Riz, who actually finds the deep clear already with Fluxy pressing forward as well. The ball will get to the backboard. CJ going up. Needs to absolutely spike it near vertically and unable to get the angle quite that they're looking for. T-Riz loses out on the challenge to Strategy, who got that ball to the corner. Now CJ Flames out of the corner, gets challenged by Madiba, puts up a meatball. Fluxy's here to eat and looking to take it the distance, looks for the dunk, but doesn't quite find it over the top of Gene.
Yeah, but they've still got some potential here. I mean, I know Gene has the ball, but they haven't found the speed in it. CJ might just flick this one up. It's pretty slow. It's not going to get too much power on the play, but it means that they're going to be able to hold on to his attack. Almost. T-Riz tries to find another opportunity 3 minutes left. It's been attack after attack after attack from Southern Cross. Haven't seen two ball in their attacking half. Ball goes up high. This one could be a brilliant double touch from T-Riz, and it doesn't come off the second player either. So they're going to have to set up once again.
Yeah, ball rolling across the middle of the field. CJ Flames loses out to Strategy, who instead will watch T-Riz clear it along that corridor, trying to stay with the play. Ball gets put up for grabs yet again. CJ Flames intercepting in midfield. Has Fluxy. That's a passing goal off of the top of Strategy. Great play out of Southern Cross.
That was fantastic play from them. I kind of was a bit worried about the fact they weren't quite finding this sort of momentum, but they played it from almost the entire other side of the field, given where that sort of setup happened, and it does put them in a 1-0 lead. This game, far less, like the last game was a lower scoring game than the first. This game seems to be an even lower scoring goal, which means that one goal should mean even more. T-Riz puts up in a very awkward position to try and defend, but Gene isn't going to bite too early. Neither is Strategy, but both players miss. So they have to be very careful, but no real follow-up from Southern Cross there.
I don't think we've seen a shutout yet tonight. No, that's not true. 4-0, game one. Never mind. Either way, though, still 2 minutes left in this game. Our second shutout, potentially, unless UOM can find that equalizing goal. But they are on the defense for the moment. Madba throwing it back towards the middle. A demo on the opposite side means CJ Flames has to cut it off early. No boost, stays with it as long as they can. Eventually, the ball is continued to kept up high by the defense. Shot from Fluxy, falling back. Strategy comes through yet again. Pass back to the middle off the 50. T-Riz can't keep it straight.
Yeah, not just yet. I mean, they have, again, another opportunity. This is what they've been engineering. This extra pressure. Two defenders do go up for the play. It means that there might be another opportunity. And every time they keep this attack going, every second with Southern Cross use on this attack is not only time which they've bought, but it's time they fight. It's a chance they find an opportunity like that as Fluxy puts it in. 2 goals with a 1 minute 18 second. That shutout you were talking about before. Much more realistic. Or even more realistic, I guess I should say.
Well, shutout, I mean, 1:18 remaining to get that goal. That's all well and good, but more realistically, it's looking like it's going to be a 2-1 lead for Southern Cross at the end of this game. 1:15 to score not one but twice. Gene will lead the charge, has an attacker underneath, but it feels like this is the first time Magma has actually missed the shot, and it comes at a very unfortunate time.
Oh, it does. It does indeed. But it's not like they missed a couple in that second game as well. Have a bit of time to kind of pull this one through. Madaba is up there, is trying to stay high. If there is an opportunity for sort of a hero play here, and it's not like they haven't been able to find these quick at all. You know, that first game, they did quite well at that. Fluxy has the ball, has to try and contest against Strategy and Gene. Strategy does win that one through, is able to beat out another player. The ball goes up high again. It's right above the goals. T-Riz should be able to get to it. Madaba doesn't find that angle. It was a little bit hard and did have to defend against the player. Gene tries to play this one, but there's enough defenders there that they are possibly not going to be able to. Madaba bounce it down low, and they find that first goal we were hoping for to keep this series close. CJ kind of flicks it over the top of T-Riz almost and takes them out of the game, and then Fluxy was just too far back to be able to defend. Yeah,
that was a awkward position to defense for sure, and it's one that gets punished. Now with 27 seconds remaining, maybe there still is a chance for UOM to get themselves back in this matchup. Fluxy along that side wall looking to throw it down to someone, anyone. Find Strategy instead, who will now look to clear along the corridor, back across the middle of the field. They're going to try and stay with this play. They're on the attack. Ball in the center. Magba is there. It's a little high. The second touch, though, is intercepted by T-Riz. 5 seconds remaining. Gene still playing that backboard. T-Riz has to take it straight up the middle. Gets challenged immediately, but no one's looking for the strike. CJ Flames out of position. Shot hits the ground. It was going to go in fetch, but time not on their side as Southern Cross advances to match point.
Yeah, if they had managed to make that play happen earlier, they wouldn't have been fighting time, but you're right, it was still so close. UOM, you can't rely on plays like this in the dying seconds of the game, right? It's just not practical, especially in a game like Rocket League. Even though, you know, those plays are possible, they are a part of the game, they are fundamental to the way Rocket League plays. You never want to rely on them. You absolutely never, you can't put yourself in that situation. They now have to take 2 games without losing a single one themselves, and that's going to be very hard given how well Southern Cross have seemed to be able to control these games from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a challenge, especially considering if you lose this game right now, UOM, you are out of this event. It is kind of do or die for them. Meanwhile, Southern Cross, they're playing for a chance to qualify into the playoffs. Every goal from this point forward is so critical, so important. Madba lets the ball get behind them. Dangerous positioning, still kept up high. Third member not there for the shot right away. T-Riz eventually does get it into the backboard where the defense should be able to corral it.
Playing kind of defensively into this corner, not kind of pulling back into the goal. Not sure whether they set up the counterattack just yet. Strategy puts the ball in a great spot for Mataba, and Mataba just finds the post. So it's not going to go in just yet. The play is still alive.
Yeah, CJ
game hasn't been... Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine. CJ Flames just clearing out through the corner. As we do see Gene looking for Mataba, not able to get that. Fluxy instead will clear up that corridor now instead, and finally it looks like they get the space that they needed.
Yeah, they do. I mean, CJ is going to be able to play it through that side. Strategy trying to take that pass, set up something, goes for a demo instead, and maybe that might be the key. Maybe that's something you'll find a bit more. Tries to get the pass off to Mataba, but it's just going to be intercepted. And a great quick-fire passing play, but there's no one else to pick that up from Tiras, and they aren't able to put the shot on goal. So Mataba taking control once again. They're able to control this mid-pitch. And if CJ can find something here, I guess every time Southern Cross is on the attack, it feels like we're just one step closer to them stealing the game. Whereas every time UOM goes on attack, it's another opportunity. It's an opportunity for them to claw back in. That mental strain, I'm sure, is weighing on UOM right now.
Yeah, it feels like that is exactly what could be happening because UOM, I mean, they haven't pulled the desperate mechanics yet. They're still keeping one member forward, two members back as they had been throughout. But eventually, they are going to have to pull that second defender. They are going to have to start looking to play more up the field, perhaps, as, yeah, it's just too many shots coming from the Southern Cross side. You think eventually they might break. However, as long as that score remains 0-0, perhaps they don't have to. Defenders bumping into each other. That was awkward. An opening over the top, perhaps. Shot is saved by Madba, the one defender who didn't get caught up in the traffic.
We're still seeing composure, though. Even in spite of getting kind of knocking each other around, not quite being aware of exactly what the other players are, they're able to coordinate their way through. Strategy gets bumped back and is going to try and play the backwards play. Doesn't quite work out for them. CJ doesn't have enough support to make this play work, but it can possibly put on a little bit more pressure and set up something else. Strategy, they have to be so careful to hold. It's just CJ with a 1v1.
That was getting everything of that shot and then some. CJ, cleanest aerial that they will ever see in a series like this. Could have put that ball anywhere, drove it straight down the center. A defender was there, but unable to come through with the save when it matters most. Now looking at a tie, well, a 1-0 lead halfway through this game. No longer a tie ball game is what I was trying to get at. Ball falls in front of the net as well, but Madba will be able to push it to safety.
Exactly, and the pressure, just again, on UOM right now. This is their chance to stay alive in this tournament, to make it to the finals. If they don't win this game, if they don't get the next goal, if they don't get the next goal, it's going to be incredibly hard, but if they don't win this game, it's going to be even harder. An attempt at the reset to pass over to Tiras, maybe look at a scoop play or something like that. Doesn't quite work out for them, but I mean, confidence from Southern Cross already coming in. They're trying for bigger mechanical plays. And now T-Rez is going to put the ball right in the perfect spot for CJ. If they can get a knock or something, maybe. Not going to happen. Strategy going to play it off the wall here. Not much to get either because Fluxy is just going to be fast to the play.
We do see T-Riz, though, go for a challenge, losing out. That's going to be CJ Flames looking to chase after it. Actually finds that next touch, ball being shot towards the backboard where it'll bounce off at T-Riz now with an opening, puts it again off the backboard. Third shot, not good either. No one able to put it in. That could have been a playoff securing goal. Now we go back up the other way. Strategy intercepted by T-Riz as we go to our final minute 20 of play.
And that was almost awkward. They just bump into each other a little bit on that wing there. And it could have almost been something. It could have been the comeback for UOM. They have to take every opportunity they can. Mataba just puts the ball into a wide angle. Strategy goes for the demo. Might have been the right play, but doesn't quite work through. Strategy and Mataba, they still have the ball up here. They have to stop T-Riz from getting it. Doesn't quite work through. A good little bump, I think, made that a little bit more awkward, but CJ still in the play, still going forward. Doesn't have teammates either. It's going to be a 1v1 in the middle of the pitch. Fluxy takes that really comfortably.
Oh, no!
Almost was done right there.
That said, it almost opened the door for the counterattack, but by keeping one defender so far back, this time CJ Flames, it's not like Southern Cross is out of control. In fact, they've been in control of this attack, it feels like, for 2 minutes, and finally the defense breaks. Fluxy gets it through. That should be the dagger in this game.
It should be. There's almost nothing UOM can do about this. Like, there's almost tiny margin, I guess, for them to come back. But we saw them score a ridiculous number of goals in that first game, not just to take it to the tiebreaker, but to actually win. There is an opportunity. If anyone could do it, it's UOM, but they can't let shots like this through. They have to find a way to enable Mataba up in that scoring role. They have to find breakaways. They have to rely on Southern Cross making some mistakes as well.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to pull it off. Ball in front of the net. T-Riz swings. T-Riz misses. Now Mataba, well, a bit of a miss as well. 15 seconds remaining. They needed that goal, but strategy just did not have the boost. And as the final seconds tick down, it's not going to be UOM Louis&Champs advancing. No, no, no. Southern Cross Blue get it done in 4. They win the series 3-1, and they advance to the playoffs starting, I believe, just next week's time.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very soon and very, very exciting as well. Well done to Southern Cross taking that 3rd seed position. Fantastically won. Credit to you as well, Formal, for being able to make that prediction, but I did enjoy seeing UOM's fight back in a lot of those series. Just didn't quite have the ability to pick up the tempo and control the game. And of course, that's really unfortunate. It's kind of heartbreaking for them, as that will be the last game we see of them, but at least they're going to put up a bit of a fight, right? At least it's not just them getting rolled over and not knowing what to do.
Absolutely. A big thank you for them competing, and they did compete. They knew what was on the line, unfortunately coming a bit short today. But not just them. A majority of our teams kind of are playing their last games of Rocket League this season, Season 2 of 2021, over the course of this week. Moving forward, it's going to be playoff time. We have the top 12 teams. I mean, we can take a look right now. It's not all set in stone just yet, but we have some good ideas. Group A, I mean, that's pretty set in stone, beating Lethal, Platinum, Num's Current University. They're all getting through. Group B, the Monash Ball Chasers, the Swang Gang, and now Southern Cross Blue are going to be looking to be the 3 teams who advance out of there. Group C, UQ Purple, as well as the Eshays. And I mean, it looked like OpenNet Esports had it secured as well. They'll be finishing that 7-2, the next closest 6-3. So congrats to those 3. And then down in Group D, I don't think it's actually settled yet. The Rusketeers still in with a hope and a prayer. We'll be curious to see how results come through there, to see if they can catch up to those UON Mosquitoes. But Rocket Lorg and RMIT Black, those 2 teams, I do believe, are each through now as well.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait for perfect, full confirmation on those, but I'm pretty sure that was all right, 100% right. And, I mean, it'll be exciting to see. I don't think there's a single team there I'm not particularly excited to look for. There's a lot of teams we've watched over the course of the season who've done really fantastic things. A lot of really close contests for the top few spots. Of course, we saw 2 of those today alone. And I just hope that everyone else is as excited for this final series as we are.
Yeah, I'm super keen to see where this playoffs go, so you're not going to want to miss it if you haven't, click the like and subscribe and follow or whatever platform you're on yet. Please go out there and do so. Also, again, a big thank you to our sponsors for this event, Rig, Indomie, AOC, and, of course, Chatime. Couldn't hold events like this without them. And until next time, for Fetch and myself, we'll see you out there on that pitch.